2 or more things. And they can be different things. It could be comparing preschoolers to middle schoolers at the Lexington School. That's a ratio. So a ratio is a comparison of 2 or more items or things. Now, we typically write a ratio as a fraction. That's what you're going to see the most. You're going to see A over B or A slash B. That's one way you're going to see a ratio written, just as a fraction. They also sometimes say A semicolon B. That's the same concept. If you want to put the 2 dots in between, perfect. It means the same thing. A compared to B. That's what those mean. They also sometimes just actually write A to B. Those are the 3 ways you're going to write a ratio. Either as a fraction, with the colon, or with the word 2. Those 3, you can write them any way. I will tell you, though, this is what you're going to see the most. And that's probably the most mathematical, because a fraction bar means to divide, so it's going to remind you to divide. Questions about ratio. Example, we're going to look at a survey asked students whether they had after-school jobs. So when you go to high school, you may have a job after school, right? Make some money, be able to pay for your gas, go to the movies, it's going to be great. So you're going to write each ratio as a fraction in simplest form. Always write in simplest form. Students with jobs to students without jobs. So basically, we looked over here. 40 have a job, 60 don't. So it's a 40 to 60 ratio. Everybody with me? And then that's also the same as for every 2 kids that have a job, 3 of them don't. Okay? Students without jobs to all students surveyed. So there's 60 without jobs and 100 students. Everybody with me? So that reduces to 3/5. So for every 3 people that don't have a job out of 5 out of the whole school. So, does that make sense? Okay, so right now, at the bottom, write a ratio for students with jobs to all students and students without jobs to students with jobs. Do that with your shoulder partners. And make sure you write them in simplest form. Let's go over these quickly. So a student with jobs to all students surveyed. Maddie, what'd you write? 2/5. What'd you write before that? 40. Perfect. All right. And then students without jobs to students with jobs. Now I heard someone say, we already did this one. Be careful, it reads differently. So it can seem the same, but it's actually reading differently. Caroline?
60 over 40.
60 over 40, which is also
3.
Yeah. So the reason we don't write 1 1/2 is because that we can't really say there's 1 1/2 kids without jobs, students with jobs. Where here we could say for every 3 students without jobs, there's 2 students with jobs. It just makes reading it a little bit easier. Are there any questions about ratio? So let's define these real fast. So rate, it's still going to work with ratios. I'm going to read it, and you guys can write it. A rate is a ratio. A rate is a ratio that compares quantities in different units. So if we're comparing like packaging to ounces, or money to ounces, or money to miles, that would be a rate. Just like Uber is a rate. How many miles I go, they charge me per mile. And then unit rate is when a rate that has a denominator of 1. So just remember, unit means 1. If I'm wanting the unit rate, I want to know the cost of 1. Maybe the cost of 1 mile. Unit means 1. If you see the word unit, you need to get the denominator to 1. That's basically what it's telling you. Everybody with me? If you see the word unit, you're going to 1. If they're just asking the rate, you're just comparing 2 different quantities. Everybody good so far? All right. Let's go to the back. All right, so we're going to start with unit rate because that's probably the easiest. We're going to start with unit rate because that's probably the easiest. Find each unit rate. So basically, I want to know the cost for one. So the first one says 2 liters of spring water, so those big liters of water, costs $1.98. What is the unit rate for 1 spring water? So what you're going to do, you're going to write your ratio. So if you notice, I'm comparing spring water to muddy. Everybody with me? But I want to know the cost of 1 spring water. So what am I getting to a 1? The spring water or the muddy? Spring water, because it's asking what is the cost of 1 spring water. So my denominator, I know, needs to be spring water, so I'm putting a 2. Because if I'm trying to get the denominator to 1, I'm trying to get spring water to 1. And for 2 of them, it cost me $1.98. So all I've done so far is write the ratio of money compared to spring water. And I put this on the bottom because this is what I'm trying to get to 1. I'm trying to get the 2 to a 1. Everybody with me so far? So if I want to get this to a 1, what am I going to divide by? Everybody? 2. So if I divide the bottom by 2, I also have to divide the top by 2. This is why calculators come pretty important in this chapter. So, right now, since you all don't have calculators, figure out what you need. Hopefully you said 99 cents. So the cost for 1 liter of spring water is 99 cents. So the unit rate is 99 cents per bottle. Everybody with me? Questions so far? All right, you all try the next one. First, you have to make sure you've read it correctly. So hopefully, it says a car goes 425 miles on 12.5 gallons gas. What is the unit rate of 1 gallon of gas? So, Isaac, what is going to go on the bottom? Gallons or miles? Which one do I want to get to a 1?
Gallon.
So do gallons go on top or bottom? Bottom. So I put gallons because I'm trying to get gallons to 1. It says it. 1 gallon of gas. And then 425 on top. Questions about that? All right, Grace, what do I divide by?
We did 2 to start with, but we got it all in.
Okay, so if I want to get 12.5 to 1, what do I divide by? 12.5 divided by what makes 1? 12.5. So I'm going to divide the top by 12.5 and the bottom by 12.5. And thankfully you all have a calculator, so you don't have to do this. You should have gotten 34, which means you get 34 miles per gallon. Just because you have a calculator does not mean you can just write 34. I should see all of this work. At least. Just writing 34 would not give you credit. You at least have to show me all those steps. Questions on this? Unit rate means getting it to 1. But you're going to need out your conversion charts. They're on the back of 5-6 notes, I believe. You're going to need out your conversion charts. You would just have one for the 2 of you. You both don't. We are going to do what we did before with the conversion, but it just takes it up 1 step. So just follow along with me, please, and I promise you it will make sense. It's complicated, I'm not going to lie. But the more you practice it, the easier it gets. All right, so we have quarts and minutes, and we're trying to go to gallons and hours, okay? So we have quarts and minutes, and we're going to gallons and hours, which means we have to change quarts to gallons and minutes to hours. Everybody with me? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to first write the ratio I know. I know that I have 3.5 quarts in 1 minute. That's what they tell me right here. And I know it's 1 minute because there's no number with it, which means it has to be per minute, which would mean 1. Everybody with me? My end result, I need to get gallons to hours. This could take multiple steps. It could take one step. But remember, if you want quarts to cancel, they're going to have to go opposite each other. If you want minutes to cancel, they're going to have to go opposite each other. Everybody with me so far? Let's just start with quarts to gallons, and then we'll go from there. So, okay, so I still do multiplication just like normal. And I need to get rid of quarts because I need to change them to gallons. Is there any way to take quarts directly to gallons based on your conversion chart? Is there any way to take quarts directly to gallons? Because if there is, that's amazing. Any way to take quarts directly to gallons? Look on your conversion chart if you can't find it. All right, so hopefully you noticed 4 quarts, 1 gallon. Everybody with me? Any confusion so far? This is just like from last chapter. So now my quarts cancel, and I'm left with gallons, which is awesome, but I still have minutes. That's a problem. I need to change minutes to hours. So now I'm going to do another multiplication. But if I want minutes to cancel, are minutes going to be on top or bottom? Top, because they're on bottom here, which means they need to be on top here. That's crazy. Everybody with me? How can I change minutes to hours? You have it on your conversion chart if you don't know. In other words, how many minutes are in an hour? All right, so hopefully you said 60 minutes, 1 hour. Hopefully. So now my minutes can cancel. This minute cancels with this minute. So if you notice, I'm left with gallons, which is what I needed, and I'm left with hours, which is what I needed. Everybody with me? Everything else is canceled. So now all you're going to do is multiply straight across. So you're going to do 3.5 times 1, which is just 3.5, times 60, and that's going to get your numerator. Then you're going to do 1 times 4 times 1, which is just 4. The only one you probably need a calculator for is 3.5 times 60. I'm going to give you guys a chance to do that. You can't do it in your head. All right. So what did you guys get for 3.5 times 60? Everybody. 210. So you do not want to leave it like that. You actually want to do the division. These are where it gets a little bit different. You actually want to do the division. So right now, do 210 divided by 4. You can either do it in a calculator or you can do it in your head. 210 divided by 4. Hopefully you got 52.5. So that means 52.5 gallons per hour. This is just taking what you learned in 5 and making you apply it multiple times, basically. All right. I want you all to do B with your shoulder partner and have me check it, or have me check it tomorrow.